Hey everyone, it's Daphne from Scrap and Create, and we're still working on, what are we working on? We're working on Forest, and we're on page 7. And page 7 is just like page 2, so we've done this once before, but I'm still going to go over the whole installation and talk about how I get things centered. So we're going to start, we have a double pocket that lays directly on top of the pocket page itself. And the pockets go from the side, so they're side inserts. And then we have these two flaps that are going to be centered on top of that. So we're going to start by putting in this pocket. Now, I made a mistake in the first one in terms of how I installed it, and I'm going to make that correction here. We're going to lay down one side, we're going to open it up, we're going to put a bead of glue down the center line. That's just to keep our inserts from passing all the way through. Now, if you want them to pass through, then don't add the glue. And the other thing I forgot to do on the first page 2 was put magnets in on these flaps, and we won't forget to do that this time. So what I've done is I've taken this pocket, which is 6 by 7, and you're going to score 1/2 inch and 6 1/2, and you get a finished 6 by 7. No, you don't. You get a finished 6 by 6. So it needs to be 6 by 7, you're going to score 1/2 inch on either side. And that's going to bring us down to 6 by 6. So this way is 6 inches, so the midpoint is 3. This is 8 inches across, the midpoint is 4. So I put a tick mark on both the pocket and the page I'm installing it on so that I can find how to center it. So I'm going to line up these 2 pencil marks and press this into place. There we go. Now I'm going to open it up. I'm going to remove this tape, and I put 2 pencil marks on the midpoint, and that's where I want my bead of glue. So remove the tape. I'm going to run a small bead of glue. It doesn't have to go all the way end to end. It's just meant to prevent things from passing through. It's a thin line. And now we're going to close this and press everything into place. And then now we've got our double-sided pocket. Now, the other way you could do it is just to create 2 separate pockets, but I thought it might get a little bit bulky. So this is the way I decided to do it instead of having a hinge in between. Now we've got 2 flaps. They're going to open left and right. They are 4 1/2 by 6. You're going to score 1/2 inch on the 4 1/2 inch side. You need 2 of these. So I found the midpoint of this flap and the midpoint of the pocket, and I'm going to line those 2 tick marks up. Same thing we did for the first process. Okay. Now I'm going to find the tick mark before I put down my corner, and I'm going to try to get the end level. Now I'm going to press this corner into place, and I'm going to swing it around before I lay it down and take a look to make sure. I don't want that, so I'm making sure that that slides in and is level with the rest of the page, and then I'm going to press it into place. And then you can see you've got these nice, beautiful lines all the way up and down. Okay, so that's one. This one's really simple because all you have to do is rest it on the installed flap. So slide it over, rest it on the flap. Just make sure it's up and down straight so that it's not offset like so. Top to bottom. You're going to close the flap, press it into place, and that's it. You have it. All right, so we're ready to decorate. So I have several papers cut out here, and I got to sort through them real quick. So I know I want this one on the cover because I think it's the prettiest. This is from, I have to think about it, the 12 by 12 collection pack. All the papers, I believe, are from the 12 by 12 collection pack. That's not true. This is from the 8 by 8. And I can tell just by the pattern on the flip side. So those are from 8 by 8. This is definitely from the 12 by 12. And so are the rest of these pieces. Okay, so all of the 4 by 6 pieces are from the 12 by 12. These little trim pieces, I know this is 12 by 12, and this is from, and I think it's all part of the same pattern. And this is from the 8 by 8s. And it was just because I wanted that contrast. So we've got a couple of different options. We can do that, and this is one option, and this is another. And I'm not sure what I want to do yet, but I do know I want this tree on top, so I'm going to go ahead and get it in. And before I do that, I'm going to stop because I don't want to make the same mistake I did last time, and I'm going to put some magnets in. So I'm going to put a magnet here, and then we don't have to worry about trying to cover it up with one of the cut aparts, which we can easily do, but it's nice to get it in the way it's designed. All right. Let go. Okay. Now get back to dry fitting this. I think it might need... No, actually it looks pretty good. I'm gonna let it go. Just a little extra glue there. I was trying to clean that up a little. Okay. So now we can make these decisions, I think. We can do that and that. Or we can flip it and do the dark and then the light. Trying to get just a visual. And then the other option is this and this. And I'm not sure which one I like. I think I'm going to go with this, the dark on the outside. Like so. So then the next thing is, what do I want to do here? Whatever I do, these are way wider than I need. Okay, I'm not sure. I'm going to go ahead and glue the brown ones down because I know I want that. And yeah. And these are sliding right into the insert, that double-sided pocket. Okay, that looks lovely. And I think I want more of the contrast, so I think I'm going to take one of these, and it looks like I can split it in half, and that will be, or actually let me see if I've already got something trimmed out. I do not. I do not. Or maybe I do. I could have sworn I'd trimmed something out for this space, but yeah, that'll work. Okay, I did have something, but not where it belonged. It wasn't in the right pack. They still need to be shaved down just a tad. So I'm gonna do that real quick. Let's see how this works. Yep, that'll do. Yep, those will work. Okay, let's get some ink on these. Here we go. Okay, there we go. Now it's time to do the insides. And if you recall from page 2, I used 2 of the cut-aparts from the 12 by 12 collection and just made 2 cards, and they're going to be the inserts that go into these 2 side pockets. Okay, so now we need to go ahead and finish the inside. And those are really the cards, and they're bifold cards. If I have enough paper left over, I'm probably going to do something on the inside too. But these are just, cards are just trimmed down to fit the size of this ephemera card, or cut apart, whatever you want to call it. There we go. Now, I've got some choices to make. I'm not really crazy about his partial head, so he's probably going to go here. And then I want whatever goes side by side here to look nice. So I think these are all wood on the back side. Yeah, this is a different pattern, so I kind of like these. Actually, I'm going to do that. Okay, so this will be my centerpiece. Again, these are from the 12 by 12. So why 12 by 12 and 8 by 8? So the reason I did both is the book itself, the outside cover, is 8.5 by 6.5. So I don't like that big of a, what's the word I'm looking for? Mat around my images. So that would have put a 1/4 inch mat around anything that was 8.5 inches. So the cover, the inside and outside of the covers, you'd either need a color block or you'd have this very large border, which I don't like. So I used the 12 by 12 to cover the outside of the album and the inside liners of the album, and then I spread some of the rest of the 12 by 12 scraps throughout the book. Otherwise, I mean, if my outside album was 8 by 8 or 8 by 6, you could easily just do all 8 by 8s. But I wanted that larger size for the cover because it needed to go 8.5 inches wide. So that is the logic there for anybody who was wondering what I was thinking. That's it. And sometimes the scale of the stuff in the 8 by 8 collection is what I really want too. So if I hadn't gotten the 12 by 12, I said 8. Some of the scale in the 12 by 12 is what I want. So if I hadn't gotten it, the inserts for this page would have been really small because the cards in the 12 and the 8 by 8 are significantly smaller and the cut aparts are significantly smaller. So by getting at least one 12 by 12, you get a blend of that. Some of the larger scaled items, which I like for some things. So I used the cut apart page from the 12 by 12 and backed all of those with cardstock, and I'm going to use them to embellish my pages. And I think, you know, you get the same cut apart in the 8 by 8, but it's really small. I think it's good for cards, but I think if you've got an album that's, you know, 6 by 6 or larger, like this is 6 by 8, I think the cut aparts look too small in your book. So that's the other reason why I like the 12 by 12. For those two reasons. Okay, this is going to be the inside right here, the last one, and trying to figure out which way I want to put it. It doesn't really matter. It's whatever looks best, I think. I think I kind of like it this way. These muted colors kind of blend a little bit. Okay, and that is, let me do a little housekeeping. That is the end of page 7. I had to think about that for a second. So we've got these two flaps that open like so, and then we've got these two side pockets on each side with these cards in it. And again, these are trimmed down to fit, and it works out just perfectly in these little side pockets. That's the end of page 7. Next time we get back together, we'll be working on page 8. Thanks everybody for tuning in. This is Daphne from Scrap and Create. See you soon.